Ms. Howe, in your testimony, you contended that, quote, some secondary marketplaces routinely use or work with these deceptive websites, unquote. How prevalent are deceptive white label websites, and how are they harming consumers?
Thank you for the question. Last year alone, we worked with Google and other ISPs to shut down over 30 of these deceptive websites. And it's incredibly misleading. They're posing as official websites of the venue, the artist, the team, and you're pushing a consumer to a secondary site. Oftentimes it has...
How prevalent are they?
I don't know the exact number, but I do know...
How would you say they harm consumers?
They're resell sites. So when you're pushing a consumer thinks they're buying from an official box office, an official team site, and you're posing as,
so they cost more.
Resell site, it costs more, absolutely.
Okay. Mr. Vaccaro, the FTC brought an action against your company in 2014 alleging that it licensed tools and services to clients who created websites that misrepresented affiliations with certain venues. For example, the FTC alleged that a ticket network client created a web page that appeared to be affiliated with Radio City Music Hall. According to the FTC's complaint, the client advertised the site as the, quote, official ticket source online, unquote, for Radio City Music Hall tickets, even though the website had no affiliation with the venue. Mr. Vaccaro, your written testimony noted that Ticket Network entered into a consent decree with the FTC that contains, quote, clear and concise rules, unquote, on how to operate white label websites that are not deceptive. Mr. Vaccaro, what are you doing to ensure that Ticket Network's clients do not create websites that misrepresent an affiliation with a venue?
Thank you. That's great. The first thing we do is the FTC laid out some pretty clear and concise rules to follow. Don't use the word official.
How are you implementing those recommendations?
We told any websites who buy that from us not to do it.
Do you follow up and check with them?
We follow up as much as we can, but we also have affiliates.
As much as you can. What does that mean? You don't, or you do?
We do follow up. I don't know the exact answer of the procedure of how we follow up or how we review each of them, but I can get back to you on that.
I think that'll be important because that's what this whole topic is about. Mr. Fitz, I understand that your company also licenses tools and services to third-party ticketing websites. In your testimony, you described how Vivid Seats screens potential licenses and requires them to comply with the FTC's consent decree with Ticket Network. Mr. Fitz, given these precautions, are you certain that your licensees are not engaged in deceptive white label practices?
We agree that false impressions left with consumers about affiliation does not exist.
So how certain so you're pretty certain that your licensees are not engaged in these deceptive white label practices?
Exactly. Our licensees do not deceive anybody.
Ms. Burns, do you believe the FTC is sufficiently deterring companies from engaging in deceptive white label practices, or do you think more needs to be done?
I think the FTC has done a good job of working with industry to crack down on white label sites. However, I think more can be done.
Like what?
Consistent policing, working with industry to identify them,
Right.
and taking swift action.
Great. Mr. Chody.